Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. With a message for my people. Nick Dad, baby. We the new label.
Yeah. Now this the black sheep sticking its home. I need a crib like I'm Gatsby. Living in hand, just understand my pockets that deep. With nothing to prove, I ain't got nothing to do. And they can't compete, and I got nothing to
My dog,
we back.
back in the building. Veterans Minimum, the #1 sports betting vibe on the internet. I'm your host, Nick Dayes. At Nick Dayes 10 as you can find me. George, where can they find you? Let's get it out the way.
At Mr. George Carmona on Instagram.
There we go.
And
Underscores?
Yeah, I mean, but they'll be able to figure it out.
They'll figure it out,
Yeah,
right?
Instagram, they interpret shit like that.
All right. Bet.
They'll recommend.
All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. I want to get right into it. We got our guy. Is it fair to say the best NBA player out of Vegas?
Hey man, if that's what you want to say, but I'm not putting it on me.
Yeah, we going with that.
I say one of the best.
Okay, we going with that.
He's on the Rushmore.
Yeah, we going with that. CJ Watson back in the building. What's good, man? How you living?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. How you guys doing?
Good.
Amazing.
I'm excited for this conversation with you because, for as much as we feel like as fans, we know any sport that we cover, there's always levels to it. Like I always tell the Will Blackman story. He played 14 years in the NFL, and him and I used to do a show together for The Win. And we were eating food, and we're watching, I think it was like the Raiders and the Commanders.
Mm.
And bro, when I tell you, he mentioned 4 straight plays.
Yeah.
And like this.
Right.
Eating chicken wings and
It comes
shit.
natural, yeah.
So, and the first one, bro, truthfully, I'm like, all right, like I've called out plays
Right.
too, like I like watching film in the NFL. So I'll be like, oh, this guy comes, they like running this play. I ain't never called 4 plays in a row.
Right.
So I say all this, like for as much as fans think we know, there are levels to it.
100%.
So I like picking the brain of
Yeah.
professional athletes like you. And, one thing that I definitely want to get into is when the season ends, whether it ends in April or ends in June when you're playing, what's the life of the NBA player like? Like what's like a status quo, sort of the next step to your off season?
So for me, or for I guess I would say for any NBA player, it depends if you're a free agent or not. I think the most stressful part is when if your in season ends in April and you're a free agent, you don't know what's next because you got to wait until July 1st to see if you're gonna get that next contract or the next 1 year or 2 year deal, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But I think if it ends in April or May or June, whatever the playoffs, you're probably scheduling a vacation, taking some time off, and just chilling, relaxing, partying with your friends.
I feel that.
Now, if you are a free agent, is it better for your season to end earlier?
No, never. You always want to go to the playoffs. Playoffs, just when you get paid. That's when the big players, everyone sees you play. There's only 16 teams playing?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So, I mean, compare that to 31, so it's a lot different.
No, 100%. I mean, I would only imagine the whirlwind it is to deal with a whole bunch of potential like options and stuff. Like, what's your like contact like with your agent? Is your agent?
It's daily. It's daily. You're probably having meetings with him. He's probably coming to visit you wherever you're at. You guys are going through certain situations. What team you want to be on? What city you want to play in? Do you want to live on the West Coast, the East Coast, cold weather, the hot weather? Like all that kind of stuff plays in the part of where you want to go and who's going to offer you.
Right. So what was your like non-negotiables?
I didn't have no no-go. I had nothing.
You were like, hey, just
give me the options. I'll pick from there. my big one was just like playing time. I feel like it was the biggest thing. Playing time and money was the biggest thing. Am I going to play? Am I going to get a chance to be the main backup or the starter, whatever the case may be? And what am I going to make? Am I going to make the same as other backup point guards? Because I feel like I was one of the best. So I should be paid like one of the best. So that was my mind frame.
That's a pretty straightforward answer there.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound
easy. Not too
unreasonable.
difficult.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like saying
yeah.
like I'm not going to New York or like
right.
What some of these people would probably put in their agent's ear.
Yeah. No, I didn't care at all. Yeah, I just wanted to play and I just wanted to get paid. That's it.
Well, yeah, I like that you mentioned that because, Jayson Tatum just signed this monster deal, right?
Yeah.
And I started looking into the contract and someone on Twitter, and I apologize, I don't have the person's name, but they did like a breakdown of
Yeah. I think I've seen that. Yeah.
everything that he got to pay out.
Yeah.
Bro, he's paying like close to 60% and shit.
Yeah.
Right? It's like taxes and agent fees.
Yeah.
And 62.8 million. I know we're pocket watching right now, but 62.8 million is what he's slated to make next season. 23.2 million in federal tax, 8.1 million in escrow and agent, 4.7 in jock tax. I don't even know what that is.
That's tax when you get taxed when you play for a sport.
Oh shit!
Okay, whatever
jock,
you get every.
Well, yeah. I mean, I knew that, but I was like, are some states exempt from the jock tax?
No, every state. And sometimes you get taxed twice. Like if you play in LA and Clippers have a team, SAC has a team, LA has a team, Lakers, so you get taxed 3 times for going to California. Even if you stay a day over, you get like your off day, you get taxed for that.
God damn. You see, so going back to what I was saying before, it's good to have an actual athlete on
fans,
here.
Regular people don't know that. Like you get taxed on everything.
God dang.
Even like the tickets we give like to our family and friends, we get taxed on that.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
That's wild.
I wonder if they're going to start doing that for college players now that like NIL is becoming
maybe they can make it money.
So if you were playing in the league right now and I was like, yo, CJ, I'm gonna need 4 tickets, me, George, and
so it depends on if I'm at home, I get 4 free tickets, but I still get taxed on it, whatever. But on the road, you only get 2. So whatever 2 more people you got to pay, I got to pay for them, or they give you the money to pay for them. So that's how it works.
And can you request more than 2? Like if I was like, yo,
only if my teammates wasn't using them. Like me and you got a relationship. Hey, we're in Vegas tonight. You know I'm from here. You're not using your tickets. Let me get your 2. That's kind of how it works.
Oh damn!
So you ask everybody on the team. That's kind of if you get your 8 or 10, however many you need. And sometimes if you have like 25, like big numbers, the team will work with you somehow, but you still got to pay for them.
That's crazy, bro. I didn't know that you get taxed on that also. Because I remember hearing a story when Des Bryant signed with the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Because he played at Oklahoma State. Mm-hmm. So like I think it was one of the first games of his rookie year.
Yeah.
He had like a whole section of people come to see him. And then he said that it was like 2 game checks he had to pay.
Yeah.
It was something wild. Because mind you, he's a rookie, so I don't know what his contract was, but it wasn't the millions he was making in the second contract. But that was the first time where it crossed my mind. I never thought about, the players actually got to pay for these tickets.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, it's part of the business of the sport that people really don't know about. And I think in some teams, like they have like sections you can buy out. Like you give your tickets to like certain boys and girls clubs or certain fans that maybe can't afford tickets to games, which is cool too. And you kind of get like a tax break on that. So
yeah, I was about to say that's a perfect write-off. Sometimes
sure. I mean, the world is about write-offs.
Yeah,
facts. It's interesting to see what Jayson Tatum is going to write off this upcoming year.
Well, and then
nuts.
So like what I'm getting to is people see 62.8 million. Still, I mean, I wish I had those problems.
Still a lot of money. Yeah,
still a lot of money. Well, he's bringing in 25.2. And my question to you is, I know you were just saying before how, I just wanted playing time.
Yeah.
I wanted a good situation. And obviously you wanted the money to be right. You didn't want to feel slighted because George was making more than you when you're better than George as a backup. But was that ever in consideration when you were like, I don't know if I want to play for a team in Cali? And I know you were with the Warriors, but when your contract was up, did that come into play after seeing all the taxes from like Cali?
Honestly, I was only making like $700,000 when I was playing for the Warriors. So it really didn't make a difference, I feel like. But I didn't really feel like I thought about the tax situation until like maybe my 3rd or 4th year. When I went to Orlando and I saw what I was going to make and then what I was going to make after taxes, it was way different. So being in Florida like helps 10 times better. If I know what I know now, I would only play in like Florida and Texas. That's it. Those are the tax-free states. Your money's going to last a lot longer and go a lot further.
I mean, bro, yeah, totally, dude. I grew up in New York, and I'll never want to live there again.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I do not want to go back, bro. So I get it. And do you think, is that a conversation that guys in the league have also? Because as a Knicks fan, all these years, it's big market, it's MSG, but like no free agents ever come here.
Yeah.
And, now the team is a lot better, so it's more enticing. Also, the Knicks were a shit show all those years. But is that ever a conversation amongst your peers? Like,
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and I think when you're a max player, I think it really doesn't matter what market, because you want to be in the big market because that's where you get all the money. Because I think all those guys will make up on the back end with endorsements and shoe contracts and signing autographs and stuff like that. They'll make that stuff up on the back end. So that tax break doesn't really matter to a big time player.
I was going to ask you, like, how much of it is off the books that we don't see when it comes to these negotiations? Because obviously, like we're seeing what Jayson Tatum's getting here, but not every player is going to be able to afford the luxury of being paid that.
Right.
Are there situations where like management's ever talked to you and they said, hey, we can't put this in writing, but I'm going to take care of you on the back end? Kind of like the Dana White method of, it does, not everybody needs to know.
I don't know. I would never trust that. It never happened to me, but it probably happens. But I've never had that situation happen to me.
Okay.
But I'm sure it might happen. I wouldn't trust it. I need mine in writing. So I know.
I feel it.
I mean, yeah, bro. You're talking about millions of dollars or, high six figures. I would kind of
like LeBron said he's going to take the minimum or take less. And now he's still getting 50 a year.
Yeah.
I don't think he's taking less. I mean, even at the age he's at, I want what's mine, what my value is. So why would I take less unless we're really going to contend for a championship, which they're probably not. So, just give me my money.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess in my thought process of it, it's like the executives setting you up with the big time brands and unleashing their
car
power.
dealerships and all that. Yeah. That stuff probably happens. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, no, CJ, I'm going to pay you, $6 million, but we can't put it in writing. That would be fucking, that's dangerous.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, shit, that definitely is dangerous. How do you feel about media saying players should take less to build championship teams?
Get whatever I'm all for players getting their money, man, because you only have a certain time to get your money. You only have 10 to 12 years, if that, and the average length of an NBA career is only like 2 to 3. So nothing guaranteed in life. So I would just go get your money. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to buy a championship ring, you can buy one at the end of the day. That's what you want. I mean, I'm all for winning and stuff, but if you can't win, go get your money. So
that is true.
I'm with that too, man. I think it was they asked Gilbert Arenas about that. He was like, would you want the ring or like the, I think
100 million or something like that. Yeah.
He's like, bro, give me the money. And I feel him too. Like, I would take that. I mean, you see sometimes dudes are auctioning off their rings for like $60,000.
Right,
yeah.
Imagine all the hard work they put in to get that ring out, and they're just giving it away, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather get the money, bro. Yeah. And I ain't taking no pay cut.
Right.
I think that's the one thing, CJ, no lie. As I got older and like being on, being in like media and shit and talking to people like you, talking to pro athletes and a lot of the conversations off the record, like, yo, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
Be pro athlete.
Right.
For that reason, it's 2 to 3 years. Yeah. Shit, we see it in the NFL. A guy blows out his ACL. That guaranteed money, they're cut the next year.
Yeah. And there's no loyalty. And I feel like there's no loyalty in teams and franchises. I've always been pro athlete and pro player because I feel like I can kind of relate more to them. I can't really relate to a team or a franchise that's going to get rid of somebody after an injury or a bad game or something like that. So I don't know. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, like, there's been rumors about Jalen Brunson is going to take a pretty significant pay cut to keep the infrastructure that they got with the Knicks. As a Knicks fan, I'm like, build this guy a statue.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
But the other side, the other shoulder is like, kind of an idiot, bro. Like, get your money, Yeah, right. And I feel like you should, man. Like LeBron taking a pay cut, like, nah, bro, I'm trying to get this money. I'm still playing at a high level. I'm worth it too.
Yeah.
It's not like this guy isn't worth it or these players aren't worth it.
Right.
But I'm definitely with you on that, bro. Being pro player, that's the biggest thing I think has changed for me. What's changed for you? I don't think I ever asked you, like, now that you're in, I guess, sports media, from what you've learned.
I mean, just the way that the business operates on the back end and how entertainment value is put before athletes sometimes. Like in all these franchises, in their head, they're doing exactly like we had talked about it recently with the Vince McMahon and creating a storyline. To be honest, that shit's way more important to them than the way that they treat any athlete. And you can see it by the way that, players are being told, take a pay cut. Right. You're going to be a superhero.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, there's like a brainwashing. And I mean, I'll start to identify this more with like all the athletes that I'll talk to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's starting to become more evident to me that there's a huge separation from management and athletes. And I think it's always existed. And I don't necessarily see it like commingling.
Yeah.
Like it's something that I only see commingling when there's like a player that just became a coach, right? It's like the JJ Redick situation. Jason Kidd with the Mavericks this year, kind of bringing the management a little bit closer to the athletes and making them feel comfortable. That's what I feel like I've started to learn.
I think what CJ said about like the loyalty thing. Like, bro, you hear shit about dudes finding out they got traded on Twitter.
It's crazy. I have a crazy story. I was playing with the Warriors one time. I had a big game too. And the guy didn't like it, right? In halftime, he got traded. He finally got traded at halftime.
Damn.
He still had to come back, sit on the bench, cheer for his team and everything, and never get beat by 30.
Oh, bro, no way. No, I'm taking my shit off, bro.
I'm going home, right?
Yeah.
In baseball, they do that shit all the time. You can't see because it's the dugout, but the dugout's hooked up to the locker room. Those guys are done.
Yeah.
You know, they're in the car out the door. That's nuts.
Well, yeah, I remember there was a baseball clip. It's probably happened a bunch of times where, like, during the inning, they called the dude out from center field. They're like, yo, bro, you got traded. He's like, what? And then he got off the field and then ended up in, like, Baltimore or some shit. Like, that's so wild, bro.
Is it, at that point in time, would you have to forfeit the game if that player continued to play?
That's a good question. Maybe. I don't know. Because what if he gets hurt? Then you can't get traded.
Yeah, so that's why you got to pull him,
That's why you got to pull him out, yeah.
Damn, bro. That's so wild, dude.
It's a ruthless
Can you
business,
imagine
man.
if you were going off?
And then that's
Yeah.
and, you know, and that's the thing. That's what he's talking about with the loyalty, man. Like they don't care if they'll trade you middle of the night. They'll trade you on your birthday. They'll trade you whenever.
Mm-hmm.
They'll trade you. Your kids just started school there, and knowing that your kids can't leave school now, and now they got to stay, but you got to leave. So I mean, it's crazy.
Is there been any awkward encounters with previous employees of yours, so like upper management, like where after you finish playing with them, you see them like randomly and
Yeah, I see.
and they kind of, I would imagine seeing you, CJ, they probably are like, oh fuck, CJ's here. Like,
No. I'm good with everybody, but one dude when I was playing for Chicago, he cut me. Before my contract was about to be guaranteed, whatever, he cut me. But he lives here now, so I see him all the time. It's crazy. Like I see him randomly. You know, I just seen him like maybe a couple months ago at this NBA event, and you know, we're cool. We still talk. I said hello, whatever. But I don't have any hard feelings. I knew at the time it's about the business, but still, I was still pretty pissed because I thought I still had a good series. But still, I mean,
right.
I mean, my understanding, like I said, at the time I was pissed, but now I understand it.
No, it's good. That's good that you let bygones be bygones there. I always
some people don't let it go though.
No, I would imagine, dude. Yeah, some athletes are like, bro, let me catch that dude in the parking lot.
I don't let it go, bro.
You look like you don't. Right now, because I told you that story.
Yeah, as you're saying that, there's so many people going through my mind, bro. Where I'm just like, yeah, you're gonna find out. Like, I still have this thing, right? Like I'm wild petty, as you guys have been able to pick up. But like, I have no problem with your opinion at all.
Yeah.
If you think whatever you think is cool, but I'm gonna remember it.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and you're gonna hear about it one way or another. And staying on this topic, as great question that you asked him, George. There's a thing in sports betting where like we call it revenge games.
Mm-hmm. Did
you ever go into games like I'm playing my former team? And
oh yeah, for sure, all the time. Yeah, every time I played a former team, it was like that. Every time, especially if the manager was still there, the coach was still there.
Oh, so if it was the same court, I got rid of you.
Yeah, for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm always want to have my best game. Get a good night's sleep, a good meal, everything, good massage, everything. I need to have my best game.
Damn, that's what we got to start monitoring now too. If dudes get traded and it ends bad or they don't re-sign them, and the coach and GM is still there.
Like if when PG goes back to the Clippers, I think he'll have a big game.
See, we got to call it like a burn book. It should be a website, really, because you want to be able to look up the player's name and then it's just a bio. It's just like quick little bum. Here's when they're playing them.
But also like a dude like Paul George, I feel as the first time he goes back to play the Clippers, it's gonna be leading, Sports Center and all these talk shows. It's like,
it's nervous and it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, they're gonna be talking about it.
Overhyped for no reason.
Are they gonna boo him when he comes out and all that shit? So that's when we're gonna be like, yo, we gotta check the app.
But I feel like he's been through it before.
Yeah.
If it was a first time offense, whatever, but he's been through it in Indiana probably when he left Indiana, because I know he's probably still gets booed there. So I think he'll be fine when he goes back. He's used to it by now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Paul George he's like on what would you say, a short list of like 5 NBA players that are like pretty unanimously, there's like the people that hate him And then there's the people that love him, but there's very few people in the middle, I feel.
Yeah. I think for me, he's like top 15 in the league easily. So
Yeah. I guess as far as the way that his career has panned out, he's moved
around.
around.
Yeah. For sure, yeah.
It's definitely rubbed some
It's a
people the
love-hate
wrong
relationship,
way.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, he's a good example of someone that's chasing the ring and he's getting paid.
Yeah. He's getting both. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the best of both worlds.
That's best case
But he gets to
scenario
pick.
there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's in that position where he can choose his destination. A lot of people, they can't. They just got maybe one team that likes them, and you just got to go with that one team.
Do you like this player empowerment? I feel like I know your
Yeah,
answer,
for sure. Yeah. I love it. I mean, I think if you use it for the right benefits, I think it's good for you.
Now, I want to segue into talking a little bit about Summer League. I'll be honest, bro. I didn't know Summer League was as lit as it is until I was out here one summer.
Yeah.
And it was during Lonzo Ball and Kuzma when they were with the Lakers. And George, we had booked a bachelor party on my buddies from back east. And my one friend's like, yo, let's go to Summer League. I was like, bro, I don't want to go to Summer League. Like, no one's playing. Like, the big names aren't playing. They're like, yo, it'll be dope. We went, and it was packed at Thomas Mack. And ever since then, I was like, yo, Summer League is pretty dope, especially when the high-end rookies are coming in. Like, I remember Zion played the Knicks in Summer League. And this is a good question for you. Have you ever seen a rookie and either it's at practice or like in a game and you see a play and it could go either one of two ways. It's like, all right, this guy's going to be a stud.
Yeah.
Or we've made a terrible choice.
Right. I think several times. Yeah. I feel like, I think for Steph, it was, obviously he went the right way. But seeing a lot of him, I didn't really play with him in Summer League, but just in watching the practices and stuff like that, seeing how well he, shot the ball and the moment really didn't bother him. So I thought for him, it went perfectly.
I bring up, as a Knicks fan, Kevin Knox.
Yeah.
He grabbed the rebound and then Zion just
ripped it out of his hands.
Ripped it out of his hands.
And I knew from that moment there, his career was not going to be great.
Hey, man, I felt the same way.
He got picked way too high.
He got picked way too high. You just can't bounce back from that, bro.
Yeah, whoever picks him needs to be fired.
It's just a rough look there. That was
a great example, though.
Yeah,
I remember that play vividly.
Bro, yeah, trust me too, man. I do too. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain plays that I know it's just one play. And I'm sure there's probably been examples where a dude has a play like that and then he turns into all NBA guy. But for this example, sorry, Kevin, I just remember it for not being positive. How do you feel about Summer League now? Now that you're out the game, but it's in your hometown.
Yeah.
And it's becoming more and more popular. Like, dude, I mean, shit, to pull the curtain back, bro, the studio's going to be crazy during Summer League, especially here at the Wynn. They all stay here.
Yeah.
You see guys walking by. I mean, last year we were working a show and it was actually Gil's Arena was in here and they had just finished talking about Zion.
Yeah.
And then, bro, like, they're doing an ad break. Zion is fucking knocking on the window.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yo, get him in here. And as the show's going live, I'm coming in here, setting up a mic where CJ's at. And then Zion's on the show for 30 minutes. How do you feel about Summer League?
Man, I love it. I think it's become, like, for me, it's just a big circus. Like, when I played, like I was telling you before, I felt like the tickets were free. It was still a big hoopla, but not as much now. It's turned into something crazy that no one could ever imagine. And actually, the guy who created it was my overseas agent, Warren LeGarry. So he's still in control of it. So he's created this monster, which is pretty cool to see. And like I said, I love seeing it. I love having basketball in the home city. I just knows that when the NBA team does come, it's going to be supported really well. So I love it.
That's insane that he created the Summer League.
Yeah.
Did you find a way to start helping after your career ended?
No, I don't even talk to him anymore.
No, I can imagine you doing some press stuff or just.
Yeah. No, I don't really, honestly, when he was my overseas agent, I only talked to him maybe once or twice. But but that's pretty much about it. Our conversations were real short and it's like a high and by type of thing. So.
Gotcha.
So I got one more question for you. And then, George, if you have one, we can end with that. With free agency now, guys have been signing, re-signing and whatnot. When you were a player, were you watching where guys were moving?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And was this something that would make it more enticing for you to go there? Or was it, damn, bro, they're stacked. We might have to worry about Miami now.
Yeah, it's always you always want to put yourself in the best position. I feel like just to get on the court, and then also for your team to be successful. So if I can add myself to a piece that's already a playoff contender type team, and then I can add myself coming off the bench or whatever, I feel like that was always a plus for me. So I was always for me it was good because I got to pick all my destinations. It was never like, oh, somebody wants to put me here. I got to really pick and look at the roster and the lineup and see how I fit. If it was a good fit, that's the teams I chose.
My last question to you. When you're playing with D Rose over the summer, would he have any influence? Like, is he creating group chats with potential?
No, D Rose is different. D Rose is, I think I'm shy. D Rose was like super shy. He didn't really talk at all. But in the locker room he would talk, but besides that, no one really like did like. But so back then it wasn't cool like to work out with your team or other players like LeBron, what KD are doing now, and all those people. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't cool to do that.
The Sky Lounge.
Yeah. You can't. It was like frowned upon to work out with other teammates or other players in the league. So you mostly just worked out by yourself, and you kind of played pickup, but that was about it. It was nothing like we're getting a team together, going to LA for a week, which we probably should have did, but we didn't do to gain like team chemistry and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but like they're doing now, but we didn't really do that.
Interesting.
Damn, so you didn't even do that with teammates?
No, I didn't really work out with teammates. So the summertime was basically like yours because with the Bulls, we got done in probably like May 31st, June. Because we went to the Eastern Conference Finals every year. So guys were just taking a break and just, chilling with their family and stuff like that. So it was never really...
Those crazy runs where you see, who was it? Devin Booker saying, don't double team me?
Was that 2 years ago? It wasn't that, yeah. We would go to UCLA and play, but like having meetups and stuff like that, like LeBron does with his team and stuff, we didn't really do that.
Damn, that's really interesting.
Training camp, everybody just come in shape, mind ready, and ready to try to get to a championship.
Sort of handle your business on your own, and then when you show up, yeah, I can see that too. Yeah, that makes sense. And I don't know how I feel about, like, if say I was Anthony Edwards, I don't know if I would want to be training with Luka.
Yeah,
like a guy that or SGA, like I'm gonna run into this. Yeah.
He's gonna know all your moves by the time you play him in the playoffs.
Yeah, for me to accomplish my goals, I'm gonna have to run through you at some point. Like I'm gonna run into you, whether it's the first round, second round, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like why would I want him to pick up my tendencies and not our plays, but I like doing this, jabs or whatever it might be. So
it's all mental too. At the end of the day, like that's why Jordan never worked out with people because he wanted to have that mental edge over you. That's why I feel like we kind of have that old school kind of mentality. And today's players, they really don't care. They just work out with anybody, which is cool. But at the end of the day,
no, CJ, it's not cool. I'm with you, dude. No, I'm sick and tired of this pity pat handshake bullshit. Can we create some rivalries?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like God, I appreciate you saying this, and hopefully some NBA players listen. You get tough,
right?
When he was just mentioning about Jordan, I just recently watched The Last Dance again, and the only time he, I guess, worked out with others was when he took the 1.5 years off filming Space Jam.
Right, yeah.
He had everyone come train, and they were playing pickup, but it was calculated. He's like, yo, I wanted to see where everyone was at.
Exactly, yeah.
So like, that's some more mental shit.
Yeah. Jordan always has an advantage over you somewhere. How?
Damn, bro. Yo, I appreciate you, man, coming on. It's always fun. I feel like I leave a smarter fan every time talking to you. The insight is amazing. And yeah, man, I just appreciate your time. This is like a home for you on here. You've been on a couple times, and hopefully we could work on some dope shit in the future. Let the people know where they could find you on social media.
Instagram and Twitter, I'm quietstorm_32. I think that's about it.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah. Guys, we're going to take a break, and we'll come right back with the Patreon. Patreon roll call. Shout out to all the members of the Patreon. George.
Yes.
17 new members, bro.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you win some money, people.
Why did you bleep me?
People come calling. I didn't bleep anything.
What are you talking about? I was trying to say
Patreon.com/veterans minimum. Shout out to all the new members of the Patreon. But in particular, big ups to Daniel Gibson, Mahul Patel, Abel Rezin, Ben Kotzian, Christopher Velasquez, Derek Platees, Dylan Chadwick, Jerry Shapiro, Jordan Riley, Mike Stevens, Mike Wozniak, Nick Crummich, Thomas Robinson, Alexander, CJ, don't know if it's CJ Watson. We have Ian, Joe, and Colton, as well as Mike, Richie, Nicholas, a Nick, and an Arturo.
Arturo.
Newest members of the Patreon. Thank you all for your contributions. If you're watching this on YouTube, youtube.com/veteransminimum, you can see the tiers. $5 tier gets you the access to all the betting picks, gets you the access to the Discord. $10 tiers, we have giveaways. Going to announce the giveaway for July next week. I think we might just give out some money, right? People like free money.
Yeah. I mean, why would you? I mean, I knew we've gone with like merch before, but
yeah, we've done merch. We've done some
give them
cash. Yeah, people want cash.
They want cash.
Merch on discounts, upgrading and updating, I should say, the merch store. A lot of cool stuff going on. Patreon.com/veteransminimum.
Speaking of cash, Nick, you made, according to your Instagram, $19,000. You do know the IRS is following your Instagram, dude.
Yeah.
And if you don't like label yourself as a professional gambler, you're mucking up the waters for tax season.
Whoa, so should I start going with that?
You should actually start filing as a professional gambler.
I might have to talk to some of our mutual friends and see what
I think you would qualify because you have to, it's like 6 hours of work a day, typically like 30 hours a week. You have to be able to prove. Don't quote me on that.
If you look at my screen time.
Yes. On sports betting apps, that would work.
North of 3 hours.
I think you would qualify then.
That's daily. Now look, there's exceptions to the rule, right? 2 weeks from now, it's not going to be the case because there's nothing on. I'll bet on Saturdays for UFC, but now I have soccer from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
And then there's some days where I have UFC also. Like Saturday was amazing. Yeah, it was a very good weekend. Talked about it a little bit with Josh. It was on the Patreon, folks. It was on the Patreon. I was very proud of myself. I know this is going to sound crazy. And this is on our friendship when I say this.
Okay.
The money is great. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that it's posted and it's tweeted and, I even took a picture of my puppy and I had Darce says Colombia 3-0, Brazil 4-1. And then it hits. It does so much for the show.
Oh, yeah.
That again, money's amazing. And no, I'm not going to give it back. But it's one of the reasons why I feel like content kind of saved my life because I've told the story about how I was a gambling addict. I don't gamble. I bet. And I've had a professional medical doctor that covers gambling addictions. Even he was like, I've never thought about that. And there's some truth to it. Where I'm like, I bet. I don't gamble. Gambling is me and you hitting the roulette table right now. Right. Betting is, I think Argentina might win by 1.5 goals because of XYZ. There's analytics, there's information there where I feel like I do have an edge.
Right.
And I think a lot of professional sports bettors would say the same thing. So when shit gets posted and then it hits, bro, that's a very good feeling.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the money's nice. The one thing you have to clear up for me, you weren't posting anything that had $19,000 on it. I know it's probably an accumulation of.
It was an accumulation.
Everything on the back end.
I ran the correct score bet.
Screenshots.
I ran the correct score bet. I'll tell you off the record.
You're going to refer to unit size here.
Yeah. Well, it's also it was a ticket, like a physical ticket.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because my buddy Chris, shouts to Chris, he was in Vegas also. So before we went to the game, bro, I paid $135 to the Cosmo for leaving my car there from Friday afternoon until Sunday night before I came to the win. Because we went to the Brazil-Paraguay game.
Yeah.
And I was drunk, George, from 5:30 p.m. Friday to, I think, like 4 p.m. Sunday.
That's amazing.
I woke up Saturday morning. Thank you, man. It felt like it was college all over again.
Yeah.
I woke up Saturday morning, and after I fed my puppy, I cracked open a Blue Moon. I felt like a frat star. I felt like it was Buffalo State 2009 again.
Yeah, because it was about to be like the hangover was going to start. No. We're just going to keep this going.
Yeah. I was like, I feel good. You know, taking Ubers and whatnot. So I just left the car there because then I went back to the Cosmo on Saturday because we went to the UFC fights. And my buddy Chris, we went out to dinner Friday night and the bill comes from Barry's. Shouts to Barry's Steakhouse, man. You see me, you're the man. You always look out for us. I appreciate you, bro. I get the bill and I look at it. I go, yo, you want to split this? And he goes, I'm not splitting shit with you.
I would have said the same exact thing, bro.
I was like, yo. It's one of the worst things I've ever said. I was like, yo, you know what? I might have to pay for dinner tomorrow also because I was so asinine. But yeah, it was a great weekend, man.
Which book did you absolutely hammer?
BetMGM.
Yeah?
Yeah, BetMGM.
They got it?
Yeah. I think it's my, locally here in Vegas, I think it's my favorite app.
Really?
Yeah. I like the interface. It's easy to navigate through. It's clean.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple, right? I think that's a big appeal for DraftKings and FanDuel also. Like those apps, they're very easy to navigate through. There's some other ones that are nightmares.
Yeah, Boyd Gambling. Do you have the Boyd app?
Yeah.
Bro,
I have
trash,
every app.
bro.
I have every app.
Boyd has had this thing recently where on UFC fights, it just says over under. It doesn't even say the fighter's name. You have to tap on it, and then it says, this is the fight that we're actually referring to here.
Yeah.
It's the wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. Boyd, please fix your app.
Yeah. They're also a little ancient with their app. Like they, I feel like the people that run that book are like 90.
Oh, 100%, dude. That's old
we're talking
money.
We're talking
That's
about
old money
Vegas,
that runs that shit.
Vegas local casinos. Because what a lot of people don't realize is people in Vegas, they don't hang out on the strip.
Mm-mm.
Like there's casinos like the Red Rock and Durango and Green Valley and Sunset or Suncoast. Suncoast or Sunset?
Suncoast is the one that has the
Right. So those are where like locals hang out at. But it's what I tell people all the time. When I have friends come and visit Vegas, they want to do all the strip shit. They don't want to do Durango.
Right.
No knock to Durango. It's probably my favorite hotel right now. You know, it's close to the crib. It's down the road. It's new. Everything looks squeaky clean. I'm not gonna bring my friend visiting from New York over there, especially when they're staying on the strip. It's like, bro, you know where you should go to? Green Valley. He's like, no, dude, I want to go to the Cosmo and to the fucking Wynn. Like, that's where I want to go to. So we're talking about these like local sports books here, but it was good, man.
So yeah, you made $19K or whatever it was. The show is now starting to get the traction because it's so funny to me the way that people flock after like you predict something like that, right? And it hits because then people are like, oh my God, you're like a fortune teller.
Yeah.
And
I was getting that at the stadium the whole time. They're like, dude, what the hell?
They start looking at you different. Like, what type of voodoo magic is this guy doing?
Yeah, because when Brazil scored the fourth goal, the way I reacted, you would have thought they scored at the 96th minute and they won 2-1.
When was a goal scored?
Like 60th minute.
Oh, that's an ultimate sweat for you, though.
And bro, do you know that we were at the Winfield Club?
Yeah, I saw.
And
awesome.
I mean, VIP on VIP. Like
it looks nice.
You know, Win took care of us. Shout out to the Win. We were right behind the Brazilian players warming up. And bro, when I tell you, when it got to 4-1, every 90 seconds, this is how you know I was shit-faced. I'm yelling, don't score! I'm yelling, don't score, right? And the players are literally, bro, when I tell you, like, right where the desk is. Yo, Isaiah, can we get a sky cam real quick? Like, that's how far the players were from me.
Bro.
And I'm yelling out, yo, Rafinha, do me a favor, don't score, bro. They probably don't understand English.
Yeah,
bro.
I'm
just
yeah,
assuming,
yeah.
you know, they speak
you need
Portuguese.
to pull it up in Portuguese.
I'm like, yo, Hendrik, don't score, bro. yo, Savio, don't score, bro. And they're like warming up and shit. And every 90 seconds, I'm yelling, don't score at the top of my lungs. I couldn't speak until like Sunday afternoon.
That's amazing.
And then people are like, this one guy next to me was like, hey, man, like, what'd you bet on? You bet on under? I was like, nah, bro, I bet Colombia 3-0 and Brazil 4-1. He's like, holy shit, for how much? I was like, yo, it wasn't just a correct score. Like, I had a same game parlay that hit. I had a money, like, I had a bunch of shit, but the accumulation was 19. Right. And I told him that. He's like, yo, holy shit. And then other people start hearing, and like the whole section by like the 88th minute, I'm yelling, don't score. And then Brazil has like a walk-in, tap in, they miss it, and everyone's celebrating with me. Oh, like I became the main attraction at the game, bro. I felt the coolest I felt in a very long time.
And the photo, well, Josh got a great photo of you.
That was at halftime.
That was one
Shout out to Josh. Josh called me and he came down and he's like, yo, do you want to meet up? And I'm like, bro, I'm not leaving because it was standing only. I was like, yo, I'm not leaving. I'm also like wasted.
Yeah.
Mind you, it was only 2-0, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yo, I'm shit-faced. And then when we hung up the phone, I just grabbed 2 cans and that's the picture that you see. Yeah.
So happy.
Yeah. Oh, I was so happy, bro.
So what else are you gonna be looking out for here in the Euro and the Copa?
I mean, dude, if you are a soccer fan, you're very excited for the games coming up. If you're not a soccer fan, if you're like, put it to you this way, if you're someone like you, right? It's fair to call you not even a casual, less than a casual.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you watched any of the Euro and Copa stuff?
Just recently, I had my dad call me and say, because he's been talking with Cameron, my fiance, about betting soccer. Because she hit the 1-1 tie yesterday between, who was it?
Brazil and Colombia.
Yeah, Brazil and Colombia. She predicted the correct score.
Let's go.
And yeah, I mean, but her, unit size, pequeño.
It doesn't matter.
A hit's a hit.
A hit. If you get the green numbers,
yeah,
it's nice.
100%.
Right? When you get the ticket cash and it's green numbers.
We watched a little bit of that yesterday, and then the game that I watched a good deal of was the USA game. And then that, I just knew would spark headlines across the United States.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Yeah,
it definitely did. Let me ask you a question. I was talking to Jory about this before we started recording. Why is it that in a 7-game series, NBA, MLB, NHL, if a series ends in 5, we consider it a short series, but if it ends in 6, it's a long series? It's one more game.
That's a great question.
And our perception of the series changes. It ends in 6. Oh, it was a competitive series. It ends in 5. It was lopsided.
Gentleman sweep.
The reason why I bring this up is USA crashes out in the group stage. Embarrassing. Totally embarrassing. Shouldn't have happened. I 100% agree with that. Why is it that them playing 3 games is bad, but if they played 4 games, it would have been good? Because they would have had to play Colombia.
Right.
And Colombia beat them 5-1 in a friendly like 12 days ago. Mind you, very misleading score. I watched that game. It was 2-1 Colombia, and then they made a bunch of substitutions to the US, and then shit just hit the fan. So if you weren't watching that game, you see 5-1, you're like, oh, damn. Fuck, they got spanked.
Right.
They did get outplayed by Colombia, but then you watch Colombia in the Copa America, or picked to win it, they look amazing. So it's not as bad of a scoreline. But my thought process was like, bro, they were going to probably get bounced Anyway, yeah, it's embarrassing they don't make it out the group, but I feel like it's been a massive overreaction personally.
I would just say the thing that confuses a lot of Americans, even fans like myself that don't follow it too much, is how our women's team is very good and how our men's team has not been good for a very, very long time. Like, I mean, truthfully, I follow enough to know, like, we have Pulisic, right?
Yeah.
But before that, I mean, like, Landon Donovan is one of the last names that I remember. But I can name you way more women's soccer players than I can men's. And it's like this thing that I can't believe America can't figure out. Is it the lack of players, or do you think it's the coach?
No, I don't think it's either of that. And I have an answer for you as to why the U.S. women's team is so much better. We were the first country, or one of the first countries, to embrace women's sports. And we actually invested in the women's soccer program. And we said, hey, man, let's do, I think it was called Title IX, was it? Like way back in like the 70s and 80s. And then they were the first nation to be like, let's build an infrastructure for the women's team. Let's develop women academies and women's soccer players. Right. And we were so ahead of everyone else. But what you've seen over the last 2 World Cups, look, Spain just won the Women's World Cup. And that was my pick to actually win it, Spain. And look, I'm not going to come off as a women's soccer expert. The only thing I knew is that the Ballon d'Or list, they had 5 of the 7 finalists were Spanish. So it's like, hey, man, they got 5 of the 7 best players in the world. They're probably going to win it. They end up winning it. What I'm getting at is we were the first country to really embrace women's sports and to invest in women's sports. Women's soccer, I should say.
Right.
And we had so many more resources and advantages. And then also our players were fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like Abby Wambach, Alex Morgan, Carly Lloyd.
Hope
Solo in net. Dude, even Megan Rapinoe was my favorite soccer player on the women's team. Yep. Fucking Tobin Heath. Like there's a bunch of them. And then other countries started developing their women's program and investing money in their women's soccer teams. And then where the U.S. was here, everyone else was here. Now the U.S. is still there, but the gap has just closed, right? So now it's like that. Why the men's team is nowhere near that, there's a lot of reasons. One of them is it starts with the youth academies here. At a young age, bro, in every other country, George, soccer is considered the poor man's game. You see stories of like Brazilians and Uruguayan players where they show pictures of them putting fucking socks together to make a soccer ball, or like garbage bags.
Right.
And that's how they're playing. They're playing barefoot on the streets. Where here, it's like thousands of dollars to put your kid in a high level, holy traveling shit, he's going to get scouted traveling team.
Right.
I had one of my customers, Evan, he played soccer at Wisconsin University in like the 80s and 90s, right? Like around then. And he had 2 kids. And he's like, bro, it's like $15K a summer for my 2 kids. Mind you, very successful dude. He has the money to do it.
Yeah.
But he's like, that's fucking wild. Imagine if you're a teacher and you have a kid and your kid is nice in soccer. Your kid is very good.
Yeah.
And I'm the top head coach of the club team here in Vegas. And we want to travel to Florida, New York. We're going to take them to Barcelona. We're going to take them to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Your son is that good. Oh, yeah, it's $8,000. How are you going to afford that? So it starts there where it's so expensive, where all the top clubs in Europe and in South America, if your kid is nice, we'll take care of all that. Don't worry. We'll even start paying them right away.
Yeah.
So it's a completely different thing, man.
Yeah. I was about to say it's kind of the expression where hard times make, hardworking men, and Americans are kind of like in the easy times because, that money that they are paying puts them on nice turf fields or grass or whatever, type of playing platform is better than just the street in the slums of, in
the favelas.
In the
Rio.
favelas, bro. Yeah. So I don't know. In my head, I'm kind of like in the thought process of we've had it almost too nice, and we don't necessarily have. We also have American football, and I think that supersedes anything else.
Yeah, no, I mean,
even though
for sure.
Have you seen our under 20 team in football has been getting beat by other countries?
Yeah.
I mean, they're closing the gap, Nick. Kind of fucked. We got beat by Austria.
It's crazy. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild. That's probably how other countries feel about losing to the U.S. men's team.
Yeah, probably.
Like Brazil tied the U.S. 1-1 in a scrimmage after they got spanked by Colombia. And every prolific, iconic Brazilian soccer player went through like withdrawals. Ronaldinho was like, yo, I'm never watching this team again. Ronaldo is like, what happened to the beautiful game I love? It's like, bro, are we that bad that they fucking tied the U.S.?
Oh,
and they're like,
damn,
yo, bro,
dude.
I ain't doing this no more. This sucks. The generation is washed. But there's also another underlying thing. And I don't know if I've told you, but I know I've spoken about this in the past. There's a kid right now on Spain,
Mhm.
Lamine Yamal. He's 16 years old. He
That's
starts for the Spain national team. He's a right winger. And he's fucking nasty. Plays for Barcelona. Started with Barcelona like this year too. He's 16 years old. You know what
insane.
American kids are doing at 16 years old? They're
Not
still
that.
they're still in high school playing
Sophomores.
high school soccer, or they're doing their travel club.
Yeah.
And then they go to college because this is how we're taught. Right? You go to high school, you graduate, you go to college, you graduate, you enter the MLS draft, you get drafted. You're 23 years old, you're a rookie in the MLS. Bro, this kid by 23 is going to have a Ballon d'Or, which is the best player in the world.
Right.
How are you going to compete? You have him at 23 and you have fucking Jared from USC.
Yeah. How old was Pulisic when he got pulled into? Because I know he went through an academy,
So
right?
Pulisic, his parents were like, yo, this kid is nice. Let's go to Germany for a summer and see what happens. And they ended up keeping him there. That happened with Gio Reyna. That happens more now with some of like the high-end guys, but most of them come from families that either played soccer and understand that aspect to it. Like Reyna's dad was on the men's team. Claudio Reyna was like one of the best players in the early 2000s. And his mom was like a 5-star athlete too. So they understand that. Like,
process.
yo, our kid is nice at 13, 14 years old. Let's take him to Europe. Here, if like you don't come from a soccer family.
No.
Let's say you and the missus have a kid and all their friends are playing soccer. Like, Dad, I want to play soccer. And all of a sudden your kid is like nasty. And your friends that know soccer are like, yo, George, fucking little George is nice, bro. Like, why don't you take him to Europe? You're gonna be like, I'm not taking my kid to fucking Europe. You gotta go to high school. You gotta go to school.
That is true.
And it's the education system here and what's been embedded in our minds for us to, you're a piece of shit if you don't go to high school or graduate high school, which kind of, if you don't graduate high school, I think that's a little crazy. College is a whole nother story, but
Yeah.
high school, like I have
Make
some
sure
of my,
you get at least a GED, people.
I have some of my nephews, they're like in high school now. And like every time I shit on like going to college, my aunt is like, don't say that. I'm like, no, you gotta pass high school, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta get through high school.
Hey, listen, your mother's telling me
let's
to not tell you this.
Yeah, let's not get too
You
crazy.
gotta graduate, son.
But that's the thing, man. Like it's a real thing. Like the culture overseas, and until that changes, we've been calling this the golden generation for the US team. And it kind of is. Like all our guys are 25 and under. Like Pulisic is the OG and he's the oldest, but he's 24, 25 years old. He's just been around for so long. But these guys are playing in big teams and big clubs. And the last thing I'll say on this is the head coach they got to go get is Jurgen Klopp. He coached at Dortmund in Germany, built an amazing infrastructure there and a core there and overachieved with them. Then he goes to Liverpool and like won a Champions League, won a Premier League with them. And like he stepped down from managing the team, but that's the guy. And I tweeted that as the game was going on against Uruguay. And now more and more people are like, Jurgen Klopp. It's like, that's the guy, bro. If you could be the guy to build a respectable team with the US,
right?
Like, bro, it would alter your career. Even though these guys are like super successful, like there are also rumors about Pep Guardiola. He coaches Man City. He was like courtside for the Celtics teams. I don't think he's a candidate because he's actually on a team, but this guy Klopp like just left. And it's like, bro, it's like a pretty prestigious thing to coach a team hosting a World Cup.
Yeah.
That's coming up in 2 years. And I think that's the guy that they got to go get.
But you got to do it now, right?
Yeah, you got to do it right away.
It's a 2-year process to build a team for the World Cup.
Yeah, you got to pick out your roster. They got to play together, all these friendlies.
Yeah, because they're going to have what's the tournament next year? the gold something.
Gold Cup, yeah, CONCACAF.
And is that like the last real tournament before the World Cup for them?
What the Gold Cup is, it's kind of like what Copa America and Euro is now, but for the North American region and like the Caribbean teams, which is usually just Mexico, USA, or like a Canada.
Right.
You know, but hey, man, Panama beat us. So maybe.
Well, that's the thing. Because like if they don't make the move and they stay with this guy and then we get our asses thrashed in the CONCACAF Gold Cup or whatever, it's too late at that point, right? And we've missed our opportunity.
Oh, yeah. They didn't make a change. Bro, isn't it just weird to get fired and then rehired by the same person?
Yeah.
Like that's what happened with the men's team. Like they fired Gregg Berhalter and they're like, you know, let's bring it back.
There's some fuckery going on at the top.
It's just weird, bro.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
It just would be awkward.
There's a lot of people on this planet that know soccer.
Yeah.
And he's American.
Yeah. Also,
Jurgen Klopp sounds like man like he knows how to drop some X's and O's.
I don't want my men's national team coach to be American.
I would hope so. I would hope that he's not. Like
I need like a Spanish accent. I need a British accent, German accent. Like I need
He needs a translator.
Yeah.
Just at his side at all times as he's yelling in German.
You know, I watch soccer games in Spanish just because like a 1-2 pass is like.
It's more intense.
Yeah.
Do you hit the goal?
Oh, the goal is like.
Goal.
That shit is iconic, bro.
The little 30-second warm up the vocal
they
cords
go bro, they go crazy for a basic 1-2 and corner kick. Whereas like the American players is like corner kick for USA.
Yeah.
The Spanish commentary.
I'll tune in. I'll switch it over next time.
Oh, bro, it's about. I'm telling you, you'll never watch it in English again.
Yeah. And if I don't like it, you know, you just mute it. And it is what it is.
Bro, the passion. Nothing beats it, bro.
And I would actually understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
You're just living in a world of nothingness.
Yeah. Just like understanding, oh, this is what a corner kick means. When he says that. All right, last thing I want to talk about, bro.
Yes.
Everyone knows how I feel about the Olympics. Staying with this theme about national pride and men's team, USA and all that.
Yeah.
You're excited for the Olympics and you say that you have some locks.
I do. I have 2 for sure right now. And this is without needing to look and see how other countries are going to fare up against our sprinters. But the United States will win the men's 100 and the women's 100. So we have Noah Lyles for the men's. When I watch the Olympic trials, dude, and I mean, people always say the Olympic trials for the United States is like, this is pretty much like the Olympics because
if you win that, you're basically
no other country. You're pretty much guaranteed to medal at the Olympics. So the cool thing about Sha'Carri Richardson, right? She, 3 years ago,
got suspended for the weed.
Got suspended for the weed, made a Drake song, and now she's been on this path of, you know, coming back.
Y'all gonna learn.
And in track, they do a yearly championship. So there's I think it's called the Diamond Series or the Diamond Cup for track and field every year. Well, she's a -160 favorite right now to win the women's 100, which is like, all right, can we find better value? You probably can. You shop around the lines. The second runner, though, Noah Lyles, is, dude, dare I say, like, he has a possibility of beating Usain Bolt's 100-meter record. And there's another runner from Jamaica right now that is in that same type of, category of a sprinter that has made the odds. I think the Jamaican guy's +175, Noah Lyles is +220. And those are the 2 favorites. So when you're getting those type of odds on a favorite in a 10-second race, if you love America, you parlay those 2 together, again, like +388, +400. That is my favorite bet so far for the Olympics. We're 3 weeks away. So they just finished up like the trials for the swimming and the gymnastics and stuff. I'm not sure they're going to put any lines up for gymnastics, but we will sweep in the women's category. Do you see that picture of Simone Biles jumping 12 feet 8 inches?
That was crazy. I saw that because they did like a side-by-side of
Wemby.
Wemby, yeah.
Yeah, dude, where you're just like, is this fake? Yeah, she's one of a kind. And I'm sure there's going to be some good lines in swimming. Swimming's the one that I haven't necessarily watched, but definitely in the men's 100 and the women's 100, Noah Lyles, Sha'Carri Richardson, lock it in. America will win and be the fastest nation.
What odds did you find on Lyles?
He was plus 210.
I see a plus 200 here, so I was just wondering if...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to shoot down dramatically. Once, I would imagine another week or so, like they're going to start getting heavy money flowing in on him. He's putting up crazy times this year, dude. And he's like one of those sprinters that has the ability to go 100, 200, and he doesn't run the 400, but he could win the relay, the 4x1 relay and the 4x2. I don't know if were you ever a track guy? Did you ever go to any track events in New York?
No, but
at your high school?
It's probably the only Olympic event I'll tune into.
Is the 100.
The 100, 200,
yep.
I think is the coolest. That's the only one. I don't watch any other thing. Unless there's like a crazy story of this guy 6 months ago reporting live from Paris was delivering pizza.
Yeah.
Like, you hear like stories like that
of
too.
Course.
Then I'll be like, all right, that's pretty interesting.
We have a 16-year-old running in the men's 4x400. And so it's crazy because when you watched him run, dude, he like still runs like a 16-year-old. He's fast as fuck, right?
I would imagine.
He ran a 400 in 44 seconds.
I would imagine he's on the Olympic team.
He runs like this. I'm moving my arms like swinging around, not like
how people run on Netflix shows.
Yeah, bro. He runs literally like this, and he's fast as fuck.
Yo,
I can only imagine what happens in 4 years at the next Olympics.
Yo, you know what drives me crazy when you're watching a show or a movie, and as a stud athlete myself, self-proclaimed. I know you called me out on that one time. I hate when I watch shows or movies and people are doing either basketball or football, and it just looks awful.
Slow-mo.
Not even slow-mo, just like...
Not fluid.
They'll shoot like a basketball like that, or the way they throw, it looks like they're shock putting a football. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, come on, bro.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of how you were describing the running.
Yeah, it's funny you brought it up because I watched the movie Major League, one of the best baseball movies of all time. And that opening scene where you got Willie Mays Hayes, who just woke up out of bed to run the 60, they shot that so well because those two guys were full sprint, but they were slowing down enough for him to catch them. I was like, this is cinematic beauty right here. Because a lot of people fuck it up.
Yeah.
A lot of people can make that look really bad. Like all those Disney movies as a kid. What was it, The Luck of the Irish? Where the chick, it's like 10 seconds left. She does like a triple threat position, is moving the ball around like this, travels. It's like, what are we doing, Disney? What are we doing?
Can I tell you a bet I really like in Olympic basketball?
Yeah. France?
No. Canada.
Go over their studs.
Yo, so their backcourt alone is Jamal Murray and SGA. And if you look at their roster from top to bottom, it's probably the only one that can compete with the U.S. as far as superstardom and just like roster capabilities.
Right.
15-1.
I know, bro, but it's all those European teams.
But like, yo, look. So like USA is minus 400, right? There's been
that's kind of high to me.
Like
is Canada the second? No.
Canada is the third. Serbia is actually second.
Jokic.
Oh, plus 10-1, 11-1. So like whatever. Yeah. It's Canada and Serbia, and then France. Those are your top four. So there's been like a running thing of just parlay the U.S. team with like some other shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a side in baseball, maybe it's whatever it might be, but they're minus 400. I think Canada could give them a run for their money, bro. Like Lou Dort, RJ Barrett, Alexander Walker.
Lou Dort makes that very interesting.
Jamal Murray.
Because he's,
like I said, SGA. Hold on. I got the roster right here. I just had a pop-up. Kyle Alexander, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, RJ Barrett, Dylan Brooks, Lou Dort, Zach Edey, SGA, Trey Lyles, Jamal Murray, Nembhard, Olynyk. This is a team that has 2 NBA champions, an MVP candidate. They got an all-defensive guy.
Right.
And when's Canadian basketball been this much on the up? I think they're going to be interesting. And look, I know the men's team got LeBron and Durant and Curry and all these guys.
Kawhi Leonard, Jayson Tatum.
Yeah.
Wait, how do
Ant-Man?
I know this is messed up. I did not. We have Joel Embiid.
I think he switched.
He can claim. That's the one thing that's weird for me. Well, you said you can claim Greece, right? Like,
you need to have citizenship,
right,
in the country to be able to do that. But I know in soccer, once you get a cap, which means you make an appearance with a national team, there has to be a Supreme Court overruling. You got to take it to courts to get your citizenship switched over. Because the center forward for the men's team, that's actually really good. Balogun, he scored 2 goals in the Copa America. He had Nigerian, British, England, and American selections. He could have picked either of them. And it was a big deal when the U.S., he said, I'm going to play for USA.
Damn.
So you see a lot of guys in Europe and in soccer in particular.
No, it makes sense now.
So, yeah, it's going to be fun, man. Maybe if I bet on Canada to win the Olympics, George, I'll be more
you
invested.
Start watching it, and then I'll tell you when the
you gotta. You're gonna need to be my accountability partner for.
It'll be
Olympics.
Interesting to see what time they do it at, because low key when they had it in Beijing, China, that time zone difference was actually nice, but I feel with Paris, it's a little. They're just going to be, what is that, 3 hours ahead?
Let's look at the Euro Cup now, right?
So it's 6 hours.
The Euro Cup is in Germany, and the games are at 9 a.m., 12 p.m.
Gotcha.
And that's evening time over there. So I would assume it's probably we'll probably have 4 a.m. wake up calls for some events.
Yeah. I'm not going to be waking up that early for any of that. But I just remember when they were in China, it lined up perfectly. I watched Usain Bolt break the world record at 8 p.m. I was this is primetime television. This is awesome. So that
was pretty lit. I remember that. All right, man. Let's wrap it up.
Yep.
Shouts to CJ Watson for coming on the show. Make sure you guys show him some love. His Instagram tag will be in the description of the episode. Subscribe, rate, review, comment, share the content. Thank you all for listening. All things Veterans Minimum are at Veterans Minimum. And we will catch you guys next time.
Peace.
In his element, I'm a gold medalist, bronze like your medal is. So many deer in headlights, but it's bedtime. Hear that supper bell, main course be the venison. Dab, most dangerous game. Either kill or be killed.